the car national. And we're going to be recorded and transcribed. So I appreciate everybody being here. I am the ring chair for the MPL ring. And one of our, I'm going to go through our team here a little bit. So Lori G is our vice chair with the Savannah River Nuclear Solutions. Ron Harvey is our MBEC chair. He is the owner and operator of GCS Consulting. Our MBEC vice chair, Tracy Richardson, is the owner and operator of Lilies of Charleston. And Sharon McGee is our secretary, who's with the Charleston Aviation Authority. And we're all joined by Dominique, Debbie, and many of the CVMS DC team here who's kind of supporting us, helping us work through the technology and everything here. So this is your team. We're here to support you, whether you are a corporate member or whether you are an MBE. We're here to try to connect you, get you involved in the organization. If we don't know the answers, we will get you to the people who do know the answers. And obviously our goal here is the connection of MBEs to corporations with opportunities for them to earn business. We have seen some growth, seen some new people coming on. Actually, I met with a gentleman this week who I am having lunch with on Thursday. His name, ironically, is TJ as well. He owns and operates about 13 dealerships, new car dealerships in South Carolina, Georgia, and North Carolina. And so I'll be meeting with him. I already talked to him about CVMS DC. Actually but him and I were in Sharon's office at the Charleston Airport earlier this week as well. So I'll sit down with TJ on Thursday, and I'm going to talk to him about the organization. And if you meet people as you are just out in your normal course of business and life, if you meet MBEs or corporations that you think should become involved in the organization and you need help with that conversation, you can reach out to us and we'll be glad to assist in that conversation and get them pointed in the right direction. I do want to take kind of a moment here at the start of the meeting here, and a bit of sad news that I need to share. Lori, who actually has been taking a very lead role in putting together these meetings, but her husband, who has been battling complications with COVID for the last few weeks, passed away last night.
Oh, God.
And it was, he had been fighting for a long period of time. She's actually been in the hospital with him. She herself had COVID, but I guess her body has managed that differently to the moment. But if we can take just a moment of silence to remember him and Lori and her family, as well as just the many others who are affected by this pandemic that is still ongoing at this time. But we'll take a moment before we get started here. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I hope that we just all remember that, the reason we're even doing these Zoom calls and all that is the pandemic has kind of forced us into doing business and communicating in different ways. And while we're adapting to technology and different methodologies of conducting business, there are some people who are actually dealing with the physical attributes of the pandemic, and there are some that are unfortunately paying their ultimate price with it. So we are hoping and praying for a cure, and hopefully we will be seeing that very, very soon. Want to kind of start out. We'll be getting minutes out when we can. Sharon works very hard at all that. She has some of her conflicts. She has some conflicts with her normal duties, as I'm actually having some today. But appreciate everything that she is doing. But I want to kind of just jump into our guest speaker today. So, and I guess Vanessa, just verify you are on the call.
I have not seen Vanessa yet.
We have not seen her yet. All right. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do is we're going to swap the order around a little bit. And Ron, if you are available and want to kind of give us an MBEC update, I'll turn it over to you for the moment.
Yeah, appreciate it, TJ, and to everyone that's joining us for our ring meeting. We're super excited that you're with us. We're continuing to make great progress in our ring. So it's exciting to hear new people are figuring out and connecting with us in our organization. One of the things that we're doing is really focusing on in the ring is the development of our MBEs. And so we're in the process of coming up with things that we're going to roll out to make sure our MBEs are getting constant development throughout the year. So when they're meeting with their corporate entities, that they're prepared, which is a part of our organization's vision and value, as well as adding value to our MBEs, so they can contribute to what corporate is needing from them. So we're actually going to be running workshops virtually, so we can make sure that that all of us at MBEs are doing a phenomenal job, and when we get to the table, we can actually do well when we're there. I think one of the most disappointing things is once you get there that you can't manage it and you can't grow with that company. And I think Louise said it really, really well on a meeting that we had some of our MBEs do and our corporate partners do for our county last week, is that if you get with those bigger companies and you don't do well, as much as they can help you, they can also hurt you if you're not well prepared. And I think that's something for us to keep in mind, is that we can handle that. So we did a conference last week for our county. We used our entire organization. Most of y'all will be proud of that. We pulled from Charlotte, Dr. Griffin, and we pulled Louise from over in Spartanburg to just help all of our county understand the value of our organization and what we do. So it gave us a good chance for presence and visibility and to highlight what we're doing. I'm really super excited to say that we're gaining traction here with our ring, and I pay attention to our chamber that's struggling with membership. So kudos to our organization that's doing a phenomenal job, and we're growing. While there's some organizations that are having a tough time during COVID, and so I don't want to see anybody do bad, but I'm happy to say that we're doing a phenomenal job in our ring and getting visibility, and people are understanding. So we're adding value. So we'll continue to do what our partners need, what our MBEs need, TJ. And thanks to the leadership. Thank you guys for pausing for Lori and reminding all of us to just really be safe. And I know everybody's not doing that, but please be safe. I know I miss people. I want to get back in front, but I have a family to come home to, so I'm going to practice. Just be safe. I can't overemphasize that. And we're telling all our MBEs to be safe. For our MBEs, if you're going into organizations, please practice safety. Those are the updates. Continue to tell people about what we're doing from the MBE perspective. We're doing a phenomenal job, and we're starting to gain a lot of traction. So thanks to the leadership of TJ, Lori, Sharon, myself, and Tracy, and all the people that support us.
Hey, thank you, Ron. Appreciate that. And appreciate all that you do as well, man. Tell you what, Dominique, I'll turn it over to you. If you or Debbie, whoever wants to kind of give us the CVMSDC update for the team here.
Thank you so much, TJ, and thank you for pausing for Lori and her family. I'm going to start with Margolette Brown, who will give you an update on new members. Margolette?
Thank you, Dominique. So just want to welcome your new member who just got certified last week. You have Holly Watersports of Rock Hill, South Carolina. So we want to welcome your new MBE to the region. And that's the only new MBEs we have this session.
Okay, Margolette, can you also give us an update on education?
So currently we are accepting applications for the Sunoco leadership class. This is a one-year virtual class that's going to be online. And for those of you on the call who are fairly new, who have never attended this program, just reach out to me so that I can give you the link to the application. It is a scholarship. It's a $5,000 investment into your business to help develop you for growth. So if there's anybody on the line who has not attended as of yet, please, again, reach out to me. I can put my contact information in the chat, and I will make sure to send you the link. As a matter of fact, I'll put the link to the application in the chat as well.
Thank you so much, Margolette. And we just launched a class at the University of Richmond on the 15th yesterday with 18 new business owners starting that program, all of which had scholarships. So very excited about the developmental work that is going on. Thank you, Margolette. And then one more thing in terms of new members, we have a grant that is coming to us from Lowe's to help MBEs who are struggling to recertify, and potentially new MBEs who don't have the funds to certify. We'll be able to offer grants to those individuals if they meet all the other qualifications. So stay tuned for that. Okay, Greg, you want to give us an update?
Yeah, thank you, Dominique. Actually, give you a few things. We do have a new member pending. I'm not going to announce them just yet, but we'll tell you this new member will have a number of great opportunities for MBEs throughout the region. They will be based in Virginia. However, they will have a number of opportunities for MBEs throughout the region. So we're excited about being able to announce that very soon. We're working on finalizing everything with them. So we're expecting to be able to just, keep looking at the newsletter, keep looking at any of the distributions we send out. And my belief is that we will absolutely have them on the next Ring meetings next month. But so that's one thing. Second thing is, I not to steal anybody's thunder, but I'm excited about the Reemerge event, and you'll hear a lot more about it, so I'm not going to go into detail. But I just want to let you know I'm excited about what I've seen already and what we have going on and what we have planned. And we will have a construction matchmaking as a part of this, as a part of the Reemerge event. And if you are a corporation, you have either plans to do construction build outs, or if you're in the construction area, we're going to be reaching out to you, but don't wait for that. Reach out to me, reach out to Larry, reach out to Margolette, reach out to anyone on our team and let us know. We would like to make sure that you're a part of this construction matchmaking. That's going to be a part of this. I'm going to step out on a limb and say superior event that we're going to have in December 2nd and 3rd. So just want to make sure you all are aware of that. You'll hear more from us. We're going to be reaching out to you to get you to join in and accept this opportunity for matchmaking. But please don't wait. Get in touch with us if you haven't heard from me.
Thank you so much.
Oh, okay. I don't want to take up everybody's time. So that's good.
Did you have anything else?
No, the only thing I was going to just say was just reiterate what TJ said at the beginning too. If you're out and about and you do have opportunities and you see something with a corporate member, please feel free to reach out to me and we will make sure we get in contact with you. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much. And to build on what Greg said, we're going to be opening up for sponsorships for our year-end event. We are merging our Business Opportunity Conference and our MBE Summit, two major events that we have, into one virtual event at the end of this year. So there are sponsorship opportunities available, and Greg and Larry will be reaching out to you about those opportunities. Now, Debbie, if you can give an update, because we have some new folks on the line, about your newsletters.
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Dominique. Just so that everyone is aware, the newsletter comes out 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Look in your inbox, check your spam if you have not seen it lately. It's generally in the 7:30 a.m. time. So on Mondays, we do our Monday morning council chat. On Wednesdays, we give you any opportunities that have come our way. We share with our MBEs and corporate partners. And on Friday, we get you ready for the week ahead with a wrap up. So again, 7:30, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm also very, very excited and encouraged by the traction that we have been. Many of the folks, MBEs who are on the line today, have taken advantage of our virtual capabilities briefings. This is a 30-minute session where it's a one-to-many opportunity to present your company to your fellow MBEs and the entire network. So if you have not signed up for virtual capabilities, please send me your capability statement and we will get you scheduled. We are now scheduled into November. So I'm very excited about that. I'm not going to take up much more time, but yes, stay tuned for information on our year-end conference, Reemerge, December 2nd and 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else on my team want to share anything? Okay, I thank you all for being here. As Ron said, this ring is growing and I'm most impressed Today we have 23 people on the line, so we are seeing the growth. We're seeing connections happen, and this is, in TJ's words, this is like the small church group. This is where all the work gets done. And so these our rings are the arms of the council, where we plan events, we help raise money, and we help to build awareness of the council. So this is a great opportunity for you to invite a guest, invite an MBE to join us, invite a corporate member to join us, and they can attend 2 ring meetings before they become a member. So with that, I understand that our guest speaker is on. TJ, Vanessa, are you there?
Good morning. I am here.
All right.
Hey,
TJ.
Vanessa. Hey, thank you for joining. So I think we're on. I'm going to turn it over to you to do the introduction of our guest speaker. But Vanessa, thank you for being here with us. So Ron?
Awesome. Thank you, TJ. It's an honor to introduce my friend and colleague. You're in for a real treat today that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Vanessa Vaughn Matthews is a founder and chief resiliency officer of As Follows Advisors. As Follows helps business leaders prepare for, respond to, and recover from disruptions and specializes in crisis management and business continuity. Vanessa's breadth of experience in emergency management, crisis preparedness, and risk management equip the Follows to support their customers. Vanessa has worked with Tier 1 intelligence agencies and Fortune 50 company, which has equipped her to be one of the frontline leaders in industry to restore business and community resilience. The Mecklenburg County recognized Vanessa as one of the most 50 influential women in Charlotte, North Carolina 2020. The U.S. Department recognized her as Global Innovation Fellow. The United Kingdom Acquisition International magazine named her as a finalist for the Best Female-Owned and Operated Small Business. Vanessa was one of the first females in the state of Georgia to graduate with a degree in Homeland Security and Emergency Management. Help me welcome the CEO that knows how to respond to disruption, Vanessa Vaughn Matthews.
Thank you, Ron. I am giving you a virtual handshake, sir. Thank you so much. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yes.
Sure can.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So thank you for inviting me and for allowing me to come in and share a little bit about really what we're going to be talking about today in terms of what separates your organization from others in crisis. And so I've got my 15-minute timer. Ron, I'm going to look at you to help keep me honest. So just please make sure that I don't go over time because I want to be respectful. So, you know, we've seen a lot change over the past couple of years the past couple of months with COVID-19. And there's one thing that I can say is that change has been a constant. And that's been the one thing that has been consistent is change. And so what we've noticed is that what separates most organizations or one organization from the next, especially in times of crisis or when they are under pressure, it's the decisions that we make. And so today we're going to be talking a little bit about how leaders perform under pressure, identifying key lessons from previous crises, and then I'll give you a glimpse of a 5-step decision-making tool that you can use to manage any type of disruption. So I've got a couple of spots in here where I'd like to get you guys to chat and share a little bit. So please feel free to unmute yourselves and I'll give you a little bit of heads up when we get to that place. So when you think about the top championship teams, they all have a lot in common, right? They all work out, they all condition. Hopefully they have a good relationship. I think that's how you make it to a championship team is you have a foundation and a strong relationship. They trust one another, they practice, they condition. And I don't know about you, but I'm a major Atlanta Falcons fan. And so if anybody remembers this game when the Atlanta Falcons played the New England Patriots, all the way through the third quarter, we were winning this game. And I was sending text messages. I was talking trash. My dog had on his Falcons gear. I had on my Falcons shirt. And next thing I know, as the Falcons were leading for 3 quarters, Matt Ryan was sacked in field goal range. So he's the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. And he was sacked in field goal range, so very close to where you score a touchdown. And there was a critical moment in this game where the Falcons coach and their leadership decided that the players should pass the ball. And passing the ball increases your risk. They had an option to pass the ball or run the ball, and they decided to pass the ball. When they made that decision, the Patriots took control back over the game. And as you can see with the picture on the left, and the end of the game, the New England Patriots beat the Atlanta Falcons 34-28. And so the question is, how do you lead a game, the entire game, 75% of the game, and in the last few minutes of that game, you lose control and you hand the game to your opponent? And so as you see in number 3, it was a decision that was made that impacted the outcome of this particular game. Another example of a championship teams are Auburn and Alabama. So my husband's from Montgomery, Alabama, so we are an Auburn household. Sorry for those of you who are Alabama fans. But this game was the kick 6. And an Alabama player ran out of bounds in this game, and the coach asked for the referees to review that play to be sure. So that play went in their favor, and Alabama was given the ball back, and they had 1 second to line up and to kick a field goal. Well, Alabama decided to kick a 58-yard field goal, and they missed it. And in the world of football, if the football doesn't touch anything, the opposing team has the opportunity to pick up that ball and return it to the other side of the field, which is exactly what Auburn did. And so Alabama didn't have a contingency plan for what happens if we don't make this. What do we do next? But Auburn, that was their only plan. We're banking on them to miss this field goal, and then what are we going to do to help this game go in our favor? So I just kind of want you to think about these 2 examples in terms of sports and how you think about you and your business. And whether you work as a business owner, whether you are in supplier diversity, we all work in organizations. Just kind of think about how these different championship teams showed up when it mattered the most, and how you can tie that into your own organization. So a wise man once told me, you are not a real CEO until your business goes through crisis. It is crisis situations that show you who you are and how you show up when it matters the most. And oftentimes, business leaders are trained to make decisions based on information, data, and policies. But guess what? In crisis, all that goes out the window. Oftentimes, information is wrong, data is not available, policies do not exist, command and control is lost, your brand and reputation is under attack. Typically, a person on your leadership team is engaged personally in that crisis. Your impacts are disproportional. Events escalate rapidly. Speed and quality is survival. And you are the center of media focus. So we have all these plans, we think about all these things, but then crisis happens and nothing ever goes the way that we expect for it to go. So when I think about how championship teams show up when they're preparing for a championship game, I can apply that same logic to businesses. When you think about the top businesses or the top 50 companies in the world, they all have a lot in common. They're all smart. They all have great leadership teams that graduated from Ivy League schools. They have great technology. They have access to resources. They have access to data, right? So what separates your business from the next business? Well, similar to the game of sports, it's the decisions that you make that impact your business. And so one example that I always love to fall back on, and I won't have time to dive into this super deep because I want to be respectful of time, but this is a picture of the Miracle on the Hudson. And some of you may remember this, but long story short, this aircraft took off from New York LaGuardia, headed to Charlotte. And as they took off, geese flew. There was a crowd of geese that were were flying and they made an impact with the airplane and they went through the engines and both engines failed as soon as they took off from New York LaGuardia's airport. And if you've flown out of LaGuardia, it looks like it's surrounded by an island. So all they had was water. They didn't really have an option to go right back down to the ground. And so the captain or the pilot, he had options to land at other airports. New York and New Jersey are pretty close, so they give you a lot of options. But he didn't have the confidence that he could make it to those other runways. And so he decided to land in the Hudson. So his decision led to 155 people that were on board that aircraft survived that day. And if you recall from that story, the media gave him a lot of flack. Social media was in turmoil because we landed a plane in the river. But what I loved about his story is that he understood his craft and he knew his role so well. He knew that that aircraft could not make it anywhere else. The Hudson was their best option. And so he had to go off of his instincts and execute and land this plane to help save lives. Another example I'll share is a bit personal. That's my company. So I wouldn't be a good leader if I couldn't share my own personal experiences and challenges that we've had to overcome. So, interesting picture, right? She's sleeping at work. So what happened? A contract was awarded. My employee went to sleep on the job. I got a text message from my client with a picture of my employee sleep because she didn't pay me to hire people to sleep on the job. So what did I do? I delayed the termination. And what happened? The customer decided to go in a different direction. What I learned is that I can make one bad hire, and that can impact my reputation, my operation, and the financial stability of our company. So a question I would like for you to ponder on is, what crisis or disruption have you experienced within your organization? And if there's some that come to mind, please be sure to yell them out. Give you guys about 30 seconds if there's one that you guys want to share, whether it was natural disaster, loss of an employee. What's the crisis or disruption that you guys have experienced in your organization?
I would say off the top, COVID, right? So how COVID has disrupted everyone's business and not knowing what to do or who to go to for resources. And I think that is probably relevant to everyone.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Vanessa, I'll build on that because as we've seen in COVID, some schools and some companies have been hesitant about what they should do, and others have made decisions to go ahead and shut down and protect their employees. And so there's been a balancing game, and we've seen repercussions from those schools who've decided, okay, we're going to open back up, and their leaders just could not make a decision.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, Vanessa, I had one. This is Dr. Khan from Jedit. With COVID, obviously everyone's had to adjust, but we've had to train our pilots on how to clean the plane. We've had to bring in an extra cleaning company on how to clean the plane. We're spending a lot more revenue to make sure our owners feel safe in the plane. And so, COVID, act of God, we've had to really scramble to make sure our business will keep running.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The one thing COVID showed me is that we are all susceptible. My risk as a crisis management company is I didn't plan for the whole world to be in the same crisis at the same time. So even though we're a crisis management company, COVID has definitely impacted us as well. So thank you for sharing that. So as we kind of think about how championship teams are impacted by their decisions, how business owners and organizational leaders are impacted by their decisions. I want to kind of take you through a few of these lessons learned that we can pick up from the 4 examples that we just went through. And so if you think about the Atlanta Falcons and the New England Patriots, for me, what I see out of that is that sometimes your risks outweigh the rewards. So the risk was pass the ball or run the ball. They decided to pass the ball. In that instance, that was a risk that outweighed the reward and cost them the game, right? In the instance of Alabama and Auburn, know your contingencies. Again, Alabama didn't have a contingency if they didn't make the field goals. So what would have happened if they would have considered what a plan B may have looked like? In the instance as well with Auburn and Alabama, stay ready, right? Auburn was ready. They were ready for, if they miss it, I know exactly what I'm going to do and I'm going to execute immediately. And they were ready and they were prepared and it showed. So always make sure that you're ready. In terms of the Miracle on the Hudson, know your craft intimately. I listened to a video interview from Captain Sully, and he talked about, I knew the aircraft and I knew the industry. Pilots train over 1,200 hours a year. He had been in the industry for 40 years and he trained for 40,000 hours. So he knew his craft intimately so that in the middle of crisis where he had never experienced that, he could pick up on his instincts and execute because he knew that airplane. And I think that's so important. I always say in my aircraft, my pilot has a plan and he's not freaking out if something happens that he's not expecting because he trains for this moment. He also mentioned in that same interview that courage is contagious. And so he had to make sure that once he yelled that message over the intercom to brace for impact, and the flight attendants echoed that to the members that were on that aircraft, when he heard everybody say brace for impact, he said, I had to be courageous in that moment because courage is contagious. And if I'm walking in that level of confidence, then my team will execute that as well. So I think that was really important to consider too. And then lastly, trust your instincts. I knew when I hired that employee, I knew the day we did the kickoff meeting that he was not a good fit for our team or our culture. And I decided to move forward with him anyway, because I was so worried about making sure we had someone to help me do the work so I could get back to what I was supposed to be doing. And I did not trust my instincts. And so I would encourage you to trust your instincts and be confident in your ability to make a decision. And always remember that in times of disruption and crisis situations, your reputation is on the line. And so I believe that is my 15-minute mark. I'm going to look at Ron Harvey for you to confirm or deny that.
Yeah, I think if you can open up for questions, Vanessa.
Perfect. Absolutely.
Hey, Vanessa, this is Elliot Rhino Medical. So 2 things that I kind of thought about while you're going through it. One, you're the modern day Kerry Washington, managing crisis. But 2, can you talk about what you may specialize more in? What type of crisis you specialize in? That companies would probably find more benefit.
Absolutely. So thank you for that. And that is often a great way to describe the type of work that we do. So to Ron's point, I run a crisis management company. We're headquartered in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're a professional services firm. So specifically our offerings involve training, coaching, advisory, and consulting work. And so typically our clients come to us because they are experiencing some type of loss in terms of their people, their operations, their infrastructure, or their technology. That may show up as cybersecurity issues. It may show up as, hey, I'm going through a pandemic and I've got to reduce 40% of my workforce. It may show up in terms of, I need an assessment for you to come in and see where I'm broken and help me understand how to fix it. And to be honest with you, right now, it's also showing up from an inclusion and diversity perspective. There's a risk for us to have organizations that are not inclusive. And so what we do are a number of things. We help organizations to evaluate how effective they are in terms of how they prepare for, respond to, or recover from any type of disruption. We help them to evaluate their policies, procedures, and practices to make sure that you're running a business with a solid infrastructure to reduce your risk. We also help you to manage your third party and vendor supply chain risks. So oftentimes, the vendors and the supply chains are a number one reason why risk happens within the business. We help you to get a better handle on that. And I can also provide a link for you to learn more about our capabilities. Any other questions?
When you say vendors, you're talking about circumstances under which a vendor or a supplier may cause an issue that the customer perceives as your fault. Is that what you meant?
Can you state that question again?
Yeah. And what circumstance would an issue with a vendor or a supplier cause a crisis mitigation situation?
So when I think about a crisis shows up in three ways. It impacts your reputation, your profitability, and your operation. So if you have a vendor that has created a reputational risk for your business, that can potentially be a crisis. If you have a vendor or a key supplier who's gone out of business or who has been impacted because of COVID, right? We have we have customers in the retail space. So we've been working on COVID since January because their suppliers couldn't get products to their stores back in January because of the supply chain issues and transportation. So you may be depending on somebody for a product or a service and you can't get access to it. Well, then now what do you do, right? So for example, I have a vendor who does all of our finance. What happens if that vendor goes out of business and they don't have a copy of our records that they've worked on for the past 4 or 5 years? What do I do if I get an audit? Where do I get that information? Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Those are all things that I would have never thought about unless you mentioned.
Oh. And that is exactly what we do. We help you to think about that.
Yes. Any other questions? I mean, Vanessa, I think you did a phenomenal job. Thank you for coming on and agreeing to be our speaker for today. And you did a phenomenal job, which I think for MBEs is giving you a platform to really, at the end of the day, explain what you do that connects with the people that you want to serve. So thank you for showing up. I want to pause briefly to make sure there are no other questions that people may be having on how to best use your services.
So Ron, it's not a question, but just a statement here. Every MBE on this call and every corporation is a potential customer for Vanessa because you need a crisis plan on your shelf that you understand intimately and can execute at any moment, whether you're an MBE operating a business or a corporation that needs to utilize her services. And so please reach out to Vanessa so that you can be proactive in your crisis management stance.
Thanks, Dominique. Thanks for bringing that insight. So with that being said, I have the last question. I do have a question for Vanessa, which is going to depend on all of us. What do you need from us?
All right, let me unmute myself. What I need from you. Well, after hearing today's presentation, the first thing I need from you is to take a look at the presentation. I'll put the link in the chat and really think about and review how you make decisions. Every single day, we are making decisions that impact our business, reputations, operations, and profitability. And those decisions cost us money. And specifically, my own crisis cost me a 1-year annual revenue. One decision from one bad hire cost me an annual revenue. Let that sink in for a minute. If we thought COVID-19 was bad, one employee can be worse, right? So I really want you to take a look at your own business, whether you work in a department or you own your own company. I would like for you to think about that. The second thing I would like for you to do is exactly to Dominique's point. If you're looking at your own business and your infrastructure, if you don't have documented plans or checklists that you can call upon when you're faced with something that you're not expecting, then give me a call. And I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to talk to you about what are the goals that you're trying to accomplish and how do we help you to get there. Crisis management may not be the end avenue, but it's important for us to have these conversations because as a business owner and as a business leader, it is an expectation that you are prepared, that when something happens that you're not expecting, that you are going to be held accountable. If I go visit Ron in his office and one of his employees gives me COVID-19 and Ron didn't have a plan for that, I can use that against him. And so my goal is to make sure that you stay in business. And so we need to do that. We have to make sure that we have the right tools and the right infrastructure. And if you wing it, then it's going to show up when things happen.
So Ron's not bringing anybody to his office. Thanks for that information, Vanessa. Thank you for, really great insight. I'm going to hand it back over to TJ. Are you still there with us, TJ?
I am. So
Awesome.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. Appreciate that insight. Ron, thank you for introducing. And I think, if one thing that we've all learned over the last 6 months is that the interruptions to our business are not always in our control. And, some things may be more in our control, and there's some things that are absolutely not in our control. And having contingency plans, some type of business continuity plan, those kind of things are very important. So reach out to Vanessa if you need help in figuring those things out. And I'd also just like to point out, the Ring meeting is a good time, to showcase your business. If you're an MBE, you have corporations that are on the phone right now, and on the Zoom meeting. And this is a chance for you to kind of showcase a little bit about who you are, what it is that you do. Maybe you can bring some expertise to those that are on a call. And if you would like to do a 10 or 15-minute presentation and be kind of our speaker and present something to our group that we can all have a takeaway, but it also will be an opportunity for you to kind of showcase your abilities and what it is you do, please reach out to me or Dominique or somebody, and we will be glad to talk to you about that opportunity and see about how we can use that. So I think what I'd like to do at this point is kind of just have a round robin where we kind of open everything up and allow somebody to, if you're new and want to introduce yourself, or if you're a corporation and there's an opportunity that has come up for MBEs that they may like to hear. I can't see raised hands or anything since I'm in the car, but just from courtesy, we'll just allow those who need to speak an opportunity and try to make a round. So I'll kind of open the floor.
Yeah,
I'm happy to go first.
So
this is our first. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Akir Khan. I'm the Vice President for Jedit. Jedit is a private aviation firm. We were founded by Lieutenant Colonel Glenn Gonzalez of the United States Air Force. And so we sell fractional shares of the Honda Jet airplane. And we have the lowest price in America at $1,600 an hour. We're about 40% less than NetJets and Wheels Up. So if your business is, somebody you know is looking to fly private and wants that benefit, please let us know. We're happy to give you more information about Jedit.
Awesome. Thank you.
If I can go,
else?
My name is John McGriff. I'm a sales associate, outside sales responsibility for Diversified Supply Incorporated. We're an electrical supply distributor we're a full functioning distributor. We sell electrical equipment, commercial and industrial construction products, and MRO, maintenance, repair, and operations, and facilities management supplies. We have 4 locations basically in the Mid-Atlantic region. We have our headquarters is Chattanooga, Tennessee, but we have an Alabaster, Alabama operation, Cincinnati, Ohio, and Aiken, South Carolina. We also do on-site material management. We have consignment inventory programs, and we have a lot of things in place to give customers a savings in total cost of ownership by standardization of products, maybe shortening inventory cycles, sales cycles, and everything. But we're just appreciative of the opportunities that you all provide. And if I could put a plug, on September 29th from 12 to 12:30, we're going to have an opportunity to do our introductions and capabilities webinar. And we thank Dominique and the Carolinas, Virginia MSDC for giving us the opportunity to put that on. And I don't know if it's my place to invite everybody, but everybody please join in.
Absolutely, glad. Thank you for mentioning that. Appreciate y'all being here and all that. So thank you. Who else?
This is my name is Elliot Haney. I'm the Executive Vice President of Supplier and Customer Engagement. I represent Rhino Medical Supply. We are newly added MBE. We are a supplier of personal protective equipment and medical devices for primarily hospital systems and in the industrial sector. We also supply personal protective equipment to government municipalities and universities and colleges and schools across the United States. We have customers in over 25 states. And what's unique about Rhino is that we deal directly with U.S. manufacturing primarily and suppliers over 3 continents. And so we're able to control the entire supply chain. So when you think about COVID, that's what we do. So yeah, I'm happy to be here, and thank you everybody for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Who else?
I'll chime in. Hey, everyone. This is Chris Naughton. I'm the feasibility study coordinator for Cristo Rey Charleston High School. And Cristo Rey is the nation's largest private high school network that serves low-income minority communities. And we're opening the 38th school in the country in Charleston in 2022. And one of the most unique things about this school, and we actually do have them in North Carolina and Virginia, we have one in Richmond and one in Raleigh, is that over half the school is funded through a work-study program. So that's how we're able to bring this education to low-income communities. The students actually work 1 full day in the office of a local business. And we've got national partners that include Google and Ernst & Young and Hewlett-Packard and Salesforce. And in Charleston, we already have commitments from the largest hospital system, Roper St. Francis, as well as Volvo and Blackbaud. So we're so excited to bring it to Charleston. It's really needed and overdue. And anyone can help me if they know any kind of community leaders or businesses in the greater Charleston area that care about education, workforce development, and communities getting left behind. You can just drop me a line at info@CristoRayCharleston.org.
Awesome. Thank you. Who else?
Yeah, TJ, Todd Keller here, South Coast Paper. We're based out of Columbia, South Carolina. Been a long-standing member with CBMSDC. I do want to say thank you to Dominique and everyone on their staff. I find a lot of the events that this group hosts very, very beneficial, as is today's, when we talk about dealing with crisis. From our standpoint, our company really is in a transformational period where we're developing a more online, robust presence where we hadn't been there really pre-COVID. Now we're going to more online sales, and you guys will be hearing a little bit more about that going on in the future as well. and also looking to sell paper, our copy paper line, engineering bond, point of sale roles, all of those different types of products. We're really in the process of really redefining ourselves for the long term here, post-COVID. So we certainly do appreciate everything that's going on, and we hope to share more as the details unfold here.
Awesome, thank you. Couple more minutes. Anybody else?
Hey, TJ, this is Ron Harvey. I want to invite, and I'll drop it in the link. We host a leadership event every year. I'm a part of the John Maxwell team, our company is, and we do an event called Live to Lead, which is really bringing community leaders together every single year. This year we're doing it virtual because of COVID. Normally we bring about 400 to 500 people to that event, and it's really just an opportunity for leaders to be in the same room from all backgrounds. And so it's a very diverse event. That'll be happening on October the 9th. I'll drop the link into the chat box. And so it's all virtual. You get to watch it from the safety and convenience of your home. And they have 5 dynamic speakers that are lined up for that event. And it's pretty affordable. Right now, it's like $79 for you to get it. And so I'm looking forward to it. The other thing I want to ask as the MBEIC chair is when you come on to this event, we're going to invite people to put on your cameras, because this is our new way of getting to know faces and make connections and build relationships. And so I'm going to invite you. We're on Zoom a lot, and I know people are sometimes zoomed out. I'm going to ask that you not get zoomed out or Microsoft Teams out or whatever platform that you're using, and allow people to know you and see you, because it's so important that we put a face with a name. Technology is here. So I'm going to invite people to literally just be on camera with us. It's so important that we know who you are. So we can really refer you, and we get to see your wonderful smiles and your backgrounds and your logos and all those things that help us do business with you. So people do business with people they know, like, and trust. We got to see you. So please, if you're shy of the camera, please try to get yourself on camera. Fix your hair up like I do, and join us on camera so we get to know you.
Thank you, Ron.
I agree with that, Ron. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. So, was that you, Dominique?
No, there was somebody else. There was a woman that was trying to say something. Yes.
Hey, this is Aisha with the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities. I just wanted to let everyone know we offer training. We have a commercial revolving loan fund for City of Columbia businesses. And then we also have a lot of supplier diversity programs to increase our utilization of minority and women-owned businesses. I'll put my email address in the chat if anyone has any questions. Even if you're not located in the city, I'm sure there's a way that we can connect in somehow. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, last call here. Anybody else?
I just encourage everyone to
Very
save
good.
the date. Save the date,
Hello?
December 2nd and 3rd. Was there somebody else coming?
Yes, this is Andrea Johnson. Hey, Dominique, how are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Good. Yes, I just wanted to jump in. I'm actually currently at a restaurant right now. My name is Andrea Johnson. I'm the owner of Daily Professions. DP Sweet Moments Desserts is what I specialize in under the MBE program, and just wanted to reach out to those on the call, especially those who are corporate companies. We specialize in giving people the sweet moment they deserve, and so super excited as we service 5 Ladles restaurants in the area, and we've been recently doing a lot of corporate company staff appreciations, especially in the midst of this time. People love to know that they're cared for and appreciated, and what can do that better than a homemade from scratch dessert, specialty desserts that are truly upscale. And so I just wanted to pitch that to anyone who's on the line today. If you're looking for some way to honor your staff or to just bring some sweet moments, we have 30+ parfaits, cobblers, pies. Our website is dailyprofessions.com. You can look us up, and I'm Andrea Johnson. So I am an MBE and just excited to be on the call today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrea. And TJ,
That sounds really good.
TJ, just 2 quick announcements. So if you all go to nmsdc.org, our parent, their national conference is going to kick off virtually. So everyone has an opportunity to join that. The matchmaking is just ending. They had matchmaking sessions going on for about a month, but you can join the national conference virtually, which is I think it's happening in October. And then our conference, again, please save the date, December 2nd through 3rd. Thank you so much for being here. We're about to join the Piedmont Triad Ring next, and everyone is welcome to join that ring meeting if you care to.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for joining on. Appreciate all of the insight. Vanessa, thank you for speaking. the Ring team, CBMSD team, thank y'all for your leadership, and looking forward to continuing these on. And if there's anything we can do in the meantime, please reach out to us. But everybody have a great week and a great month. Thank you.
Thank you, TJ and team. Excellent job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vanessa.
Take care.
Thank you.